Late Show. I'm still me. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest tonight is the chief Washington correspondent for ABC News and the author of the new book, Betrayal. Please welcome Jonathan Karl. Hey, nice to see you again. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Hey, have we talked about this before? But when you started at CNN, that you were one of the young guns. Remember, they hired a bunch of y'all, and you were going to be like the really young ones, shockingly young reporters.
The Generation X team. Yeah.
How long ago was that you were young?
Like 47 years ago.
Or is it because you're how old are you now?
53.
53.
Yeah.
And I'm 57, so I'm young adjacent.
Yeah, you used to be the young guy too.
What? I was the new guy at one point.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Your new book, Betrayal, is about January 6th and the events that led up to it. And before we get into the details of those events and some of the revelations from your book, what did it feel like for you as someone who made their life in Washington talking about American politics when that day happened?
I mean, I was heartbroken. I spent most of my career covering Congress. And look, I no matter how many times you walk into that place, I mean, I still feel a sense of awe. And when I was a little kid, I would visit with my family. I would look to see if the light was on. That meant Congress on top of the dome. That would mean Congress is in session.
I didn't know.
And I would want to go and see it. So to see those people breaking in that place and rummaging around on the Senate floor, it was absolutely heartbreaking.
What do you think was being violated beyond the physical space?
I mean, it was a direct assault on our democracy. It really was. It's not just words. They were trying to stop what is the crown jewel of American democracy, which is the peaceful transition of power. And that's what was going on. That was the last step in certifying the presidential election. And they were directly trying to stop it. They weren't just vandalizing or going through. They were trying to stop what makes American democracy democracy. And by the way, they almost succeeded. That's one of the things with this book. As I researched it, I came to realize that we were far closer to losing it all than I even realized at the time. And I was freaked out like we all were at the time, but it was worse.
What is the thing that most shocked you that you discovered in your reporting for this book? What's the thing that got us closer than you imagined?
That if a few people had actually done what Trump demanded of them, it could have flipped the other way. And these are not people these are people that basically saved our democracy in a sense, but they're not your traditional heroes. These are people, many of them are like longtime Republican partisans who had, all along the way done everything the guy ever wanted. But when it came to this moment, they stopped. I mean, Pence is the most obvious. And did you ever think Pence was going to be the guy that was going to stand up to Donald Trump?
No, the man who would take his water bottle off the table if Trump took his water bottle off.
I mean, just astounding. But he was disloyal when it counted the most. Disloyal to Trump when it counted the most. And there are others, names that you don't know, but I go through, who were, basically in some ways political hacks, who stood up and stood strong and did the right thing in the right moment.
As someone who reports in Washington, can you call people political hacks, or do you have to stay sort of objective?
I hope not. I didn't name anybody.
No, you did not name anyone, but we know how you feel. And that actually...
I mean that in a good way.
Sure, of course, we always do. But I've seen the show; it's brilliant. Now, but that leads to me to the next question, which is that as painful as that day was, it is already being cast as a day in history. And I'm curious how you feel about those people who know better, who are now trying to reframe that day as not a violation of our democracy and as merely a protest, and that as an ongoing gaslighting, they're trying to tell us what we saw, we did not see, and thereby preventing our ability to stop it from happening again, I believe. What is that? How do you deal with that? That's an ongoing thing. That's not a historical feeling. That's an ongoing event.
It's ongoing. It's happening now, and it's outrageous. And it was one of the things that drove me every day as I was writing the book, is I wanted to get the history down in a way that would be indisputable. And I tried to write it in a way that even the people that are sympathetic to Trump and even believed the things he was saying would see, no, that's a lie. I didn't just say, look, it's no truth, not evidence. I mean, I went through and looked at the stuff he was saying, and I went through in detail and explained why it was complete nonsense. It's a complete lie. And to see people like talk about the day, and Trump himself, I mean, when I went to see him, when I interviewed him for this book, talking about it as if it was some kind of a glorious day, January 6th.
You reveal in the book that as he was leaving office, I think on January 20th, when he was leaving, he's about to get on Air Force One and leave for the last time, he told Ronna McDaniel, I'm done, I'm starting my own party.
Yeah.
How did they stop him?
So this was amazing. This was actually when he walked up the steps to Air Force One for his last flight on the plane to go to Florida. He gets in to his office at the front of the plane before the plane takes off, and Ronna McDaniel was calling him. She wasn't at his farewell ceremony, just to say, hey, thank you, good luck, kind of thing. And that's when he dropped this bomb. And the way they stopped him from leaving the party is they essentially made a series of threats, of warnings. They said that if he did it, it was going to cost him tens of millions of dollars. There were legal bills the RNC was paying based on the election challenges that were now going to be his bills to pay. And they were going to take his most valuable political asset, his big, 40 million name email list, and they were going to make it worthless. They were going to take control of it and give it out for free, so he couldn't rent it anymore.
So he's a businessman. It was the bottom line.
It was going to cost him tens of millions of dollars, and that's why he backed down. He backed down about 4 or 5 days after that, after January 20th. He told him he was leaving. He wasn't saying I might. He said, I'm done. I'm gone. I'm starting my own party. And he backed down.
We have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, I will ask Jonathan about some interesting news about Mike Pence that I did not know, and neither did you, but you should. Stick around.